Now, as we understand the moving averages, let's see the application of this moving averages, how it helps for you to understand, if at all, if you're in a stock, and how long you can be continue to be there, and when you can think of exiting. Let's take. So I went to Ticker Tape just to check. The best returns that has given the stocks in the last 1 year from a large cap, Trent, RVNL, HAL, Zomato, IRFC, Vedanta, etc. Let's see that now how this moving average help you to understand if you are actually entered these stocks, how long you can stay there and when to exit and so on and forth. So let's go to the first PFC. Now, if you see the PFC, prior to this particular significant run, it was some kind of cyclic in nature. It was going here, comes there, goes there, comes there, and so on and so on forth. It's basically, it was actually following one thing. Let's say, for example, if you draw a trend, for example, there are a lot of trends that you can draw. We can cover a little bit later. But what happens is there is something called here, it was forming some kind of a triangle pattern where the width of this particular thing is higher. As it goes on, it will keep on diminishing, it will keep on reducing that. Larger gap to smaller gap, further small, further small, further small, it like comes to some kind of a triangle, while this is a flat and this is continuously coming down. Now, eventually what happens is there is a breakout that happens. Whenever you find this kind of a pattern, and eventually there is some kind of breakout or breakdown, down towards down, it can happen. When the breakout or breakdown happens, then will be significant movement happens. That's exactly happened with the PFC. It was actually consolidating over maybe 2014 or even more. In fact, if you see, from beginning it was in a cyclic nature only. This is actually forming a triangle shape. If you notice, you just see that the bottom, more or less, the bottom is actually a straight line, whereas here longer and it becomes shorter, 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 and some point in time its breakout happens. And when breakout happens, then significant movement that can happen. Now, let's say, for example, you entered somewhere here. Now, how do we know how long that actually we need to stay in this stock? As I was mentioning, whenever that actually this all moving averages are together, there only significant movement that can happen. You see here, every single thing actually this, of course, this I'm referring a monthly chart, okay? All moving averages together, and there's a breakout happened. The previous high closed. From then on, it's a significant movement happened. Now see that one here. The moving average is 5. Every month it will touches, goes up, touches, goes up, touches, goes up, touches, goes up. So as long as this is actually following the trend, if any stock is actually touching 5 and going, that means it's a trending stock. And if you see, all moving averages are actually upward. And if you see, these are all more or less, these are all parallel. As long as these are all parallel, you can continue to invest. Now come here, it touches here, it went up, again went up. Actually, typically what happens is, in the real trend thing, this is the 1 month closure, and if next month if it doesn't cross below, and if it's staying above and goes up, this is much significant strength. See here, the close of previous month never broken, or say, for example, even if it broken, but the opening of this next month will be higher than that, and it will keep on, goes on, go. Now, when it's away from this one, some point in time, again it has to touch 5. See, it's touched 5, and again it moved up, and it went here. Then it could not push. Then it could not push further. Now, what is actually, I told you earlier that it will go and hand over to the next moving average. Next moving average 10 it touched, and again make a significant higher. But from here it could not make again higher. You can actually put a, say, for example, either a box or a horizontal line and see that whether that crossing the previous high. It couldn't cross. couldn't cross. So then what happens? Then it has to come to the next one. The next one, if we try to push it up above this one, then it will go up. If cannot, then the only option is to come here. And as I also mentioned that, right, when these are all together, a significant movement can happen. When they are far away from each other, again this consolidation or coming down, or it will wait till that all these moving averages catch up, and once it will become together, then only the movement can happen. So basically, from this is now become a consolidation. Okay, from 5 to 10, 10 to 20, it might all kind of things happen, but if there is really strength, it might again push it up and on, go on, go on. But we need to keep on watching whether this each, whenever that hand over to the next level of moving average, whether that's able to push it up or not. If it's able to push it up, it's great, and we'll continue to move on. Next, let's go to the trend. Trend actually is really significant. I mean, here also, if you see here also actually a kind of a pattern was there, triangle pattern here. See, so from small, it will actually keep on big, and then breakout happened, and then it continuously keep on touching 5 and going up, touching 5 and going up. Now here it is too away from moving average 5, so eventually it has to come and touch 5. So that's the reason this is an indication that some point in time it will touch, or it will wait here till this go and catches. Anything will happen, but it may not necessarily make higher. Either it will wait here or it will come back here, then only I can make next movement. If once it touch, if it can't move above this thing, then it will hand over to here, and then it will try to push it up, and if it can't move significantly, then it push it here and so on forth. Okay. Here also actually see all in a monthly, all the moving averages away from each other. Zomato. So here moving average together, it started actually giving a significant run. 5 could not push, touched 10, then moving up, then from again 5 over takeover and so on and so forth. This is become far. When it's become far, it will come and touch the moving average. Now from here, if it cannot move up again, the only option is to come here, or the stock will wait till this catches up. Similar case with HAL as well. So it will continuously growing 5, 5, 5, 5, and when it cannot make this one, it will go and touch 10. If it cannot push it up, then only option either wait till 20 comes here, or it comes down to 20. Whenever there is moving averages away, some point in time this must be converged. They have to become together, then only significant movement can happen. So from a close to, it will expand, from expand to close, expand, close, expand, close, expand, close. This will continue to happen. Similarly, RVNL continuously moving. It could not push it up. It has come to 10. Then we need to see whether actually, of course, there is a rejection that happened. Whether we need to see whether this crosses. If it doesn't crosses, 20. IRFC same. 5, and see, this is how far it is from even 5. So don't ever invest whenever that actually this goes like this. Don't invest here at all, because it eventually comes down, or there will not be any movement at all. So as I was mentioned, actually, say for example, in some last video, let's say for example, this you consider as one box, and if you see this from here, let's say for example here, if you take this thing, this one significant movement that you consider, I said that no, it will most probably it will come and touch the middle of the channel, and when it's touched middle of channel, then by then that actually the moving average of 5 also catch it up. From here it actually pushed up. Now, so when it pushed up, now here what's happened is, now it's went beyond this, right? So this is the middle of channel. So I will bring this low of the channel to middle of the channel and see what happens. So again, here try to touch the top of the channel. As I mentioned that, no, this is the only way you can figure out where it can max can go, and it again come back and touch the middle of the channel. From middle of the channel coming here. Now if it can goes up, for example 5, it has gone up, it could not push away this thing, then it has touched 10, Now we need to see from here whether this can go up. Here is a moving average is there, it's slightly below this. If it goes up, it will touch this here. First it will touch, it will come here and then go. If it can't go, then it will come here. So it's like this box theory. If you see here, if you come back here again, if this is the range, so it went up, touched the middle of the channel, it tried to went up again, and again it pushed back here. From here, let's say from here, so it's the bottom of the channel now. Now we need to see whether this goes up or it comes down. So you keep in this mind, one is the box and then moving averages, then it will help you to understand if the stock is the bottom of the channel, and if there is a stock, for example, you see here, this here, this was the bottom of the channel, and also there is a support is there, that is equal 5, then is a probability it can go high. So VEDL also has given a significant what you call it's about 114% in the last 1 year, but it's not a trending thing, because trending is the moving average should be straight, but here it's a cyclic nature. It goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down. It's in that kind of a range. So until unless the range is broke out, for example, this is the range. So here, so it goes here, middle of the channel, comes down, slightly above the middle of the channel, again comes down, again goes up, comes down. It's in a cyclic as of now. This is not a trend stock yet. In order to become this trend, it has to breakout happen, then only. So basically, how do I identify the trend? The moving average should be now up towards up trend. It's like this. It show as uptrend, not it's cyclic. Like here, say for example, it's like cyclic. Goes up, comes down, goes up, down. These are all the stock is not for investment. It's only you can trade. For example, whenever the stock hits the bottom of the channel, you can actually invest, and whenever it reaches the top of the channel, you can exit, or you can go short or whatever it is whenever that is the top of the channel. But it's not for investment per se. It's only trading or momentary that you can use. Whenever it touches stop, go for short. If it is the bottom of the channel, take long, and so on. Now BHA also same thing. Like for example, if you see in a monthly trend, it was as we discussed last time, it was following the 5, then 10, then 20 could not push it, it has to come to 50, the 50 it could not cross the previous high. If you cannot previous high, automatically it has to come to 200, and 200 also could not push to previous high, then obviously it has fallen below 200. When the below 200 happens, now it will follow the reverse trend. That means it will try to follow that actually the 5. If 5 cannot push down below, then it will go to 10. If this cannot push down, it will goes to 20. If that cannot push down, then it will go to 50. Then any one of them actually, if it pushes it down again, it will follow the trend of 5, 10, and so on and so forth. Now what happened is, here it went to 5, it could not push it down, then 10 could not push it down, then 20 could not push it down, then 50 could not push it down further. So basically this low is not getting close. That means it's reversing, it's gone up. Now what happened is, all these things become together. As we said, anything is far away. I mean, it's in a closed state here, moves up, far away each other. Again, some point in time, actually they has to become together. Then any one direction that it can go up or it can come down significantly. Again, it will become together, push it down. Again, it actually say for example far away. So now it will become together. It will become together here. You see, all become together, and significant movement has happened. So once it is uptrend started, it's following the 5 could not, then it will come to 10. It tries to push it up, then that also could not push it up from the previous high. Then it will come and touch. So probably it will touch here if this cannot push it up, and so on forth. So because here also these are all far too away. Some point in time these are also need to merge. So this stock also is not a trending kind of stock, but it has given a last 1 year. It's a good return per se. It's about 113%, or so whatsoever. And yeah, BHL. The Cochin shipyard, I think there are a lot of recently some activity that happened. Here also there is a breakout happened, 5555. So from here, it's like this. Okay, so let's see whether this works here. This is the box, and move it here. So this is the middle of channel cross. Now let's move the lower here somewhere here. So this is actually reached there, and then from there it started reversing it. Now adjust to that particular thing. Now this is the top of the channel, you have to sell it. It has come down, but it has broken as well. So now move here, and now the movement of one bar, you see this thing, and to take that much, and now keep on putting this. So now if you see from here, it can come here, but in the middle of channel there is some kind of a rejection happening. At the same time, there is also some kind of support, the 10. There is a middle of channel, there is support. We need to see whether it can take reverse. If it doesn't, then we will come and touch 20. So this is the way that moving averages helps for you to understand. First of all, don't invest in any stock where the trend of that is not in a trend, like a VDL, BHL, or whatever it is. Those are all not in trend, but there is cyclic nature, and when they are in a cyclic nature, you can only trade. For example, from here you can go long, from here you can go short, and so on forth. But once it become a breakout happens, then you can think, like for example, this is the, in case if this breakouts, it goes up, otherwise it will come down and fall here. So it's already started showing actually this reversal. Then we need to see. So from 5 it might come to 10. We need to see whether it goes up. Doesn't, then eventually comes down. Okay, but if there is a trend, if there is a strength, from here it will goes up, and then it can follow 555. Then we need to see that. It's based on what happens, we can take the call. But as of now, it's just cyclic. Thank you very much.